Alright, so we're going to touch on a couple of subjects. Now, I had a bunch of videos and stuff all over other internet sites. Those sites being social media, that kind of deal. But I decided I'm going to stick with a YouTube for a little while. We got a lot to go on. So, first thing I want to touch on is protecting your dollar in economical hard times. People don't understand that with poor people, homeless people, people that fly signs, stuff like that, they're actually protecting your dollar. Had it not been, or have it not be, for that guy that's out there flying that sign, your cheeseburger would cost a lot more. If everybody's a millionaire, a cheeseburger would cost you $100. Huh? Does that not make sense? Okay. But some things that I've noticed while flying the sign, some very interesting factors about how you can spot devil worshippers today. One of those would be like while you're standing there flying a sign, where the line is at the stoplight or an on-ramp or off-ramp, if a devil worshiper is approaching, they'll stop about 20 yards back to hold traffic away from you to lessen your chance at making a little money from those that are behind them. Because the people are behind them are like, well, man, I'm a ways away, so shoot, you know. The best part is that don't stop nothing. That don't stop nothing. Something else a devil worshiper will do is whenever they do pull up to the stop sign and see you standing there right next to them holding your little sign, they'll go to pretend like they're digging out some money or something. They'll start digging in their console and looking up at you like, and then they'll even roll the window down a little bit sometimes, hoping you'll walk up, and then just drive off. Yeah. It's funny. It is. I don't give them no attention. I just ignore them. I do. Matter of fact, I'll post some photographs of some of them parked far behind. Give you a good example of it later on. Let's see. I'm going to dig through my notes here and start talking about some of the things that are really interesting that's going on in this world. I don't know if you've seen it on YouTube, but there are nuclear weapons that are hovering over top of the U.S. right now in the atmosphere. See, if another country, for example, fired a nuclear weapon at us, our ballistics would be able to blow it out of the air over the ocean before it ever got over here. So I guess the best way to, hit every major city and town or whatever in this country would be to have them hovering over top of the country, and you can YouTube this information and find it, and drop these nuclear weapons on top of us. Now they're in clusters, and they're aimed for every major city in this country. They're also aimed, oddly enough, at like the center of the Gulf of Mexico, and that would create a water shock wave on the outsides of the country as well. So that way, like you know how a third of the country gets washed out? Okay, so you can look that information up as well. Something else we've got here. Okay, so you know your spirit helper, the one you've been slaving? Okay, let me explain something very carefully. Okay, the devil worshiping has got this process where they pull your spirit out, right? And well, you got two spirits inside of you, so get a dollar bill out. Okay, now I want you to look at George Washington's face, and on his face, you'll notice, see if I got one right here in my pocket, yeah. On his face, you'll notice at one of his eyes, this one is light and this one is black, right? Now the formula of his success was actually the angle of his face. Okay, he showed more his good side than his dark side, right? Getting into how a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. Now, the reason he was unstable is because upon being awoke or awakened, his human nature, sinful side, was conflicting with things that he actually prayed for, right? Okay, well, they say, well, you got to pull it out. It won't stop snitching. It won't stop snitching. Okay, well, these are devil worshippers, and what they're doing is they're taking away your ability to permit something on earth. See, what you permit on earth, so shall it be in heaven. Okay, what you bind on earth will be bound in heaven. What you lose on earth will be loosed in heaven. You know, if you, well, I gave this up, and I gave that up, and, well, you know, I hear a lot of times, you don't want to go to heaven, there ain't going to be nothing there to do. You know why? Because, well, I traded it for this, and I traded forgiveness for that, and all I got to do is devil luck it one time, and if I devil luck it, then I'm going to get it. No. No. Let me tell you what. That's some funny shit. Huh. Okay, now I want to get into another factor. Okay. In the book of Ephesians, now I've got patents on this, so don't even try it. And I've done argued and fought with a lot of scientists over this one. In the book of Ephesians, it says in 3 words, God is light. Now, it's not talking figurative, it's talking literative. If you don't believe this, stare at a light long. And I'd say, well, you got to look through a veil. And they put that little piece of silk shit over their face until they're high, and then they see a little bullshit. You're always going to see a lie. The Bible says it's good to look at the light. Stare at the light long enough and tell me what you find up seeing. Huh? Or just listen real carefully. And you'll always see the truth. You'll always see the truth. Huh? Okay, so Einstein, and I support his work too, and I've got patents in this area, says energy over mass versus a constant. Okay, now energy is over mass. It is. But it's also in mass. Right? Meaning, I've also got a ground startup on the molecule, so it's not H2O. Now, Bose-Higgs was able to prove the particle accelerator, you know, the God particle. At first, I was very judgmental because I didn't like the title of it. And then I explored it a little bit further. So what we have is what holds a molecule together. We're talking like H2O, hydrogen, 2 parts oxygen. Well, what connects that is energy. And it's also, well, how do we measure light? L-I-G-H-T. Well, if you measure it, it breaks down into a photon, right? And a photon is actually a particle. Okay, but this particle actually holds the pieces of a molecule together, meaning that no hard matter can exist unless energy or light exists inside of it. Now, let's go back to Einstein saying energy over mass. Well, that would mean that it's just the light being over top of it and there being no energy in it, but a lighter is a good example because it obviously states that, but this works with everything, including a pencil, including a dead ashtray, everything, right? But that also adds weight to God speaking everything into existence, okay? All right, so I got a patent on that as well, including a patent based off of how solar panels, you remember that thing when you was in school? How it had the little black and white squares on the inside of it. It looked like a light bulb. You put it in the light and it'd spin, right? Okay, well, solar panels on this planet are all facing towards east, right? And some of them even move with the sun. But there is so much solar panel farms and solar panels individually on this planet, all facing east, and the planet rotating from west to east, it can actually slow the rotation of the planet down to like 23 hours a day over time. That's a thesis on that I've already gotten. It's patented too, so don't even try it. Don't even try it, huh? I've been talking to several different PhDs on this, and I got 2 weeks in the 9th grade. When you pray for wisdom, he'll give it to you abundantly. Huh? He'll give it to you abundantly. How abundantly? I got 2 weeks in the 9th grade. Yeah. Huh? Well, okay, I kind of boasted a little bit, but it is what it is. Okay? That goes into the periodics table. It's no longer H2O, and I like the water molecule. Now it is L3 or E3, 1 part hydrogen, 2 part oxygen. Why is it 3? Because there are 3 there. There are 3 individual lines that connect it. And they say, well, how can 2 molecules fit together if that bottom line connects? Well, it's as simple as this. You take 2 marbles and you set them next to each other. Now, even though they can easily slide apart, they are in fact molecules, and as they touch, they are connected. Interesting. I ain't done yet. I ain't done yet. I'm just now going in on you. Huh? Huh? I'm gonna let you catch up on that. I'm gonna do another video here in a minute. It's gonna be on a Beelzebub. Let's see, the systematics of devil worship and recruiting. How a lot of music today, like heavy rock and roll, I'm not gonna say what, but if you listen to it, something with a shine. I'm gonna look down wherever I gotta go. That kind of deal is actually highly religious music, including some of the stuff that Stone Sour and Slipknot. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. Please excuse me. Please don't sue me. Anyway, in my opinion, you know. So I'll get back to you in a little bit, and I'm gonna catch up on some other notes because I still got a long way to go. Giggity.